friends, the friends' parents, you've contacted and went through every single person?
Everyone that we know that she knows, we've contacted them all, reached out to them. The parents have gone out to search and look for her as well. And we haven't come up with anything yet.
I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, Hunters Creek, rants and raves and what have you. Did people say that they were going to conduct some type of like search party or anything?
A lot of people have asked me to volunteer, like if there is one, if they can do one. I have people passing out flyers, going to every store in that vicinity, a gas station, church. I think people were being stopped in the street this morning in front of the school to see if they've seen anything, if they've heard anything. My family they're going all out right now. Yeah.
I know as a mother, a lot is going on in your brain.
So much.
To bring her back home. What have the law enforcement told you that you are able to share?
I mean, that they're doing the best they can. They've had detectives come out, interview us. They took a piece of her clothing for the canine dog to see if they can sniff her out. I'm not sure when that's being done.
All right, Greg, what do you got?
So she's really boiling the air down now, if you can't miss. She's inhaling it more heavily. Her mouth's open, all that bouncing and terror in her face. And now she's added batter on deck. She's rubbing her thighs. I don't expect all of that when a person is feeling grief. I just don't. Grief, go back to the McCanns, when you guys beat us up about all the time in the comments, where the McCanns were lifeless and you said that was an indicator that they had done something wrong. No, that's an indicator of grief and their brain is running out of energy and that kind of thing. There is not agitation. Now, there is a part of grief that causes people to go from denial to anger, which she's not in anger. She's not in denial as far as we can tell. It feels like she's just in the moment. She's guarding again. There's a nonsense answer that really does mean something if you listen to her words, but her sentence structure is just really poor. When she talks about people have asked me to volunteer if there is one, what she means is people have called and said, if there is a search, I'd volunteer. Or can you help us organize one? And. Well, here's question number one when somebody says that he missed. Did you organize a search? Are you part of a search? And if she says no, then the obvious why question. There's eye movement now, deviation from what she was doing earlier for facts. When she was doing facts earlier, and now she's talking about these people, her eyes are going back to the opposite side of her brain. So something's going on here. Can't tell what until we get further in and we get a clean question. But let's pay attention to this. I don't know where this is almost telegraphed. Chase, you say it most of the time. Where's my baby? Let's get out there. Any of you, if you're missing a dog, would be, where's my baby? Let's go get this, much less a human being. And she's just been handed the question, what would you like us to do? They didn't ask that, but she says people have asked, they've volunteered, but she still doesn't bring it up. She still doesn't say, where's my baby? There's still no grief. There's still no agitation there. The agitation is all about protection and about protection of facts. Every fact that she's bleeding is one that's being pulled out of her. Now, does that mean she did something? No, but it means this is a hell of a lot of red flags that would certainly get my attention talking to her, and I would start pulling and pulling and pulling. And when I say pulling, I'd be real friendly about it until I wasn't, until there's a reason to have some kind of case. Because remember, you're just interviewing this person and you're trying to get to facts. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah. So I'm interested in the blink rate here because it seems super
what
low.
Blink rate?
Yeah, wobbling rate. Yeah. Well, I think I counted one. I think I did count one. So we can, we can give a one on that. Chase, I think you're right in suggesting that often it's the case of a low blink rate is hyperfocus. So let's take that as let's go with that idea because I think it's a good idea. So then we go, okay, so what is she focused on? What is she so hyper-focused on here? Now we've got this big eyebrow raise with that as well. Now, talking about terror and fear, there are some indicators in fear. Fear, you want to let a lot of information in there. You want your blink rate to be low, so you're getting that information in. Also, the eyebrows are a good way to signal to other people in the room that there's a threat in the room. There's something, there's a predator around. So high focus because of no blink rate, eyebrows up, potentially, could be approval, but potentially not approval, could be signaling to others there's a risk in the room, there's a predator in the room right now. I don't know whether there's somebody else in the room at the same time as this interview or in the certainly a parrot around and about, and something has disturbed the parrot. Greg, it sounds like you know parrots better than I do, but maybe something else in the house has disturbed the parrot, and the parrot wants feeding, or maybe the parrot just shouts out like that at a certain time of the day. I would be interested. What else is happening? What else is in the room? Who else is in the room or in the vicinity at the time? Chase, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, we know now that she uses this single shrug as a social acceptance gesture, since we saw it really pronounced when she was mentioning that Madeline has ADHD. So she's socializing the issue here in this clip of having spoken to everyone. So she's introducing more difficulty here and complexity again, introducing it. So saying they've literally contacted everyone possible, there's no more people that can be contacted, which insinuates nothing more can be done. She's also adding here that people have searched for her. She talks about her family going all out, which is very different from asking for help. In many ways, this can be seen as something that's lessening the need for any assistance or help from people. And I'm surprised by this point, there's not one mention of her name unless it was directly asked of her, and no mention of getting Madeline back home. And essentially she's saying that all that can be done is either happening or has already happened. And at this point, I would assume she most likely, if I was doing this interview, obviously I'm not in charge of the questions, but based on this, I would assume she very likely knows the location or disposition of Madeline. And I would say that in likelihood, that's a high likelihood. Scott, what do you got?
I agree with you 100%. And I'll tell you what I think at the end of this thing, because it's, anyway. So I agree with you guys. And Greg, going back to your point, but for all of us, if somebody we loved was missing, they wouldn't be able to interview us because we'd be out. So where's Mark? I don't know. He left. He says he's going hunting for his kid. Where's Jay? Then we'd be gone. There'd be no interview. They'd be trying to find us, but that's what would be happening. You don't sit around and say, well, and I think your shoulder shrug went up at that first part because she really doesn't. I think it scares her. I think you're right, Chase. I think that part where at the beginning there where she says, where he's asking about the people are coming by and stuff, and that shoulder goes up. No, man, she doesn't want to answer that. Of course she's unsure, but she's really insecure about that. We're seeing a whole lot of insecurity here, man. We're seeing somebody who's afraid. We're seeing fear. Why would we be seeing fear other than being afraid for your daughter, Madeline, who is never named in this? Never, not once. So let's think about that for a second. Why would she be doing that? Why would she be pushing away from everything? Why isn't she out hunting for that child? Why isn't she trying to find people to help her hunt for that child? Why isn't she saying, look, hang on just a second, if they do get her for an interview, and say, look, here's what she looks like. Bang, here's a picture. Please go out and look. I think that bit about the ADHD, I think that's not true as well. I don't think that's true. I think that's why we're seeing that shoulder go up and that chin go toward the shoulder. I don't think the kid has that. I could be wrong. She could have been diagnosed or whatever. I don't think she has it. And her blink rate, like you were saying, Mark, it's almost gone here. Going back to your point, Chase, we know that when someone's afraid of something, your brain goes, we need to keep an eye on that. So your eyes get a little bit wider and you don't blink. And when you do blink, they don't blink completely most of the time. So I think there's a whole lot going on around here in this situation. We're seeing stress mouth. She's thinking about not getting in trouble. That's what she's thinking about. That's what it's looking like to me so far. So, and Greg, to your part about collusion, you damn straight. I'm with you on that. I think there's a lot going on here that hasn't been brought up yet. Maybe in the investigation, probably. I'm not sure. All right, we good?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good lean, Greg. Mark, it's very pro.
Well,
base that wasn't much.
I'm just warming up.
I was playing it cool. That's what I do.
This is what bothers me.
Friends, the friends' parents, you've contacted and went through every single person?
Everyone that we know that she knows, we've contacted them all, reached out to them. The parents have gone out to search and look for her as well. And we haven't come up with anything yet.
I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, Hunters Creek, rants and raves and what have you. Did people say that they were going to conduct some type of like search party or anything?
A lot of people have asked me to volunteer, like if there is one, if they can do one. I have people passing out flyers, going to every store in that vicinity, a gas station, church. I think people were being stopped in the street this morning in front of the school to see if they've seen anything, if they've heard anything. My family they're going all out right now. Yeah.
I know as a mother, a lot is going on in your brain.
So much.
To bring her back home. What have the law enforcement told you that you are able to share?
I mean, that they're doing the best they can. They've had detectives come out, interview us. They took a piece of her clothing for the canine dog to see if they can sniff her out. I'm not sure when that's being done.
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.